The last video, we looked at 5 of the 6 foundational concepts of After Effects. The last one we did not cover is how to render. Render basically takes all the decisions that you've made and outputs it to one seamless video. So there's no lagging and that it plays back in real time. This is a quick start. We will revisit rendering later in more in-depth. But this will give you the overview of the best way to do this for this class. So essentially, once you've got your video set up and motion graphics set up the way you like, go to File, Export, Add to Media Encoder Queue. What this is going to do is it's going to open up another program called Media Encoder. You will need to download this in advance of this video. So if you have not done so, you may want to stop and do a download. And what this does is it adds this video to a queue. And because Media Encoder is an entirely separate program, it can continue to render a video while you are working in After Effects. So you can actually do 2 things at once. So the settings are actually quite simple. We're going to be using YouTube as a way to show our work. So there are presets for that. So there's actually only a couple of things you need to do. One, starting here in H.264 is a good codec to use. 2, you'll start with a preset. And if you go down and pull down here, you have a lot of different presets. And since we're using YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and select YouTube 1080p Full HD. That just basically means it's going to be a full high definition video in YouTube that'll match the settings of the canvas that we set up. And then finally is the output file. Basically, if you click on this, it'll allow you to name and show where this is going to do and where this is going to go. And so I'm going to call this the Walt Disney Concert Hall test. Okay. And then you select where it's going to go. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the Walt Disney Concert Hall folder here. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. You can go ahead and, again, the MP4 is the file format it comes out in, so if you save it. Now this hasn't actually rendered it. You've just given it the rules to do so. So in order to actually render the video, you have to go up to the top right corner and there's a little green arrow that says Start Queue. Now what this will do is if you have lots of different videos queued up, it will just go from one to the next to the next to the next. But right now we only have one video, so it's just only going to render that one thing. And so now all we need to do is press this, and in a couple of seconds it will have rendered the entire thing. It's happening pretty fast, so I'll wait for it. Almost done. It looks like it'll take about 30 seconds, which is about right because that's about how long the video is. Rendering, depending on the amount of effects you have, can take a long time. As we get later into the course, it will not be uncommon that you will be rendering things maybe even as long as overnight. But right now, while things are pretty simple, looks like about a second, 1 second for render time for every second of video seems to be about right, at least on my computer. All right, so then all we have to do is go open up a browser window. I'm going to look at in my folder Disney Concert Hall, and here's the video we made.